All right, so we are back to some Fortnite drawings here. So this is the first thing that we're going to create is the Clinger. So let's go ahead and create this document. Name this Clinger, Clinger, hyphen with your first initial followed by your last name. We'll go ahead and create this. As I'm looking at this, I don't really know exactly what this is, but it looks like a plunger with some type of a bomb and other types of weird looking parts. So we're going to kind of, I assume this is a grenade of some sort. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start, we're going to draw the plunger first. So, and I'll show you here, we'll take care of that. So as I'm into this Part Studio One, so I'm going to bring my cursor down here and we're going to right click. We're going to rename this. We're going to start by drawing the plunger. So, all right, so I'm going to name that plunger and we are going to sketch on the front plane. Bring this to the view normal here. I'm going to start with a center point arc. Now, so I'm going to use the axis of this, and we will kind of start here, and then we want this to more or less go from here on around to here, to that point there. That's good enough. Now, the radius, we're going to make this radius bigger here, so let's change this radius. Let's make this like a full-size plunger. That's probably going to be somewhere around 6 inches radius, or if that's a 6-inch radius, it's 12-inch diameter. Now, this is probably going to be about 3-inch radius, or about 6 inches altogether. And I don't need to worry too much about any other placement right now. So, I mean, that's pretty good at this point. So, I'm going to also then come in and we're going to create a center point rectangle. So, let's do a corner rectangle here. So, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to kind of get this line. Notice I'm going to kind of pull this in. You guys will see what I'm doing here in just a second. Make sure that it's highlighted. Let's kind of go over to here by just a little ways. So left click to place that. Oh, looks like I'm... All right. So I'm in my view cube here. So let's bring this down so we can see. Left click to place that. We want this to be, we're going to say that is going to be 0.75, 3/4 of an inch. Hit enter, and the overall, we'll go ahead and make the overall 7 inches in this case. Now, that's going to give us about a 1/2 inch over with each, but we got to dimensionally constrain that. So let's come to our dimension. I'm going to say from here to here is a 1/2 inch, so 0.5. So we get that in place there. And notice we got some radii on here. So let's kind of come back up here to our fillet. So now we want to kind of create a fillet. And I'm going to say, well, I want to fillet from here to here. So, and it's going that way, which is good. That's a 1/4 of an inch. I think I'm going to take that. We're going to go ahead and make this to be a 0.5 on that one. We're going to do the same thing over here, 0.5 on this side as well. So that works. That's good. Now I'm going to create another fillet. So we'll go right here to this. And in this case, though, notice it's saying invalid. So let's kind of come back here. In this case, we want this to be 0.25 so that it actually gives us the fillet that we know our geometry will allow us. So 0.25, and nope, didn't like that. Let's come back here. So, yep, things are not quite right. So let's hit the undo button here to kind of bring that back in. So Undo and redo to get us back. All right, let's kind of come back here one more time. From here to here, and that's going to be 0.25. There we go. Not sure what happened there earlier, but that gives us what we want. So let's hit escape on that. And, you know, if you think about a plunger, something like this, let's go ahead and offset this for just a second. I'll show you what we're going to kind of do with this here. So let's go ahead and offset this. So get back into your offset tool. So bring that back up. Let's offset this radius. Let's go the other way, but let's make this 1 inch. So see if it'll like 1 inch. Yeah, I don't like that. That's a little extreme. So let's hit the escape tool to get out of the offset. Let's double click this. Let's make this 0.75 on the wall. That's a little bit less extreme there. And at this point, I'm just going to draw a line. I don't even really care about dimension. I'm going to kind of connect here up to here. So, and escape that line. I don't really care about the dimension of that. We're just creating a line. All right. Now let's get our actual handle. So come back into the line. We're going to I'm going to kind of do some imaginative, creative stuff. So we're going to bring this in, and we're going to kind of just drop this line here vertical, and right-click escape this. So let's go ahead and set a dimension of this line. So if you think about the handle here, this handle is probably at least 12 inches long. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, notice when we did that, it shot it all the way up to that side. So let's undo this now. We're just kind of, and let's do a constraint. So we can kind of put a dimensional constraint on this to lock this in. So I'm going to kind of constrain this again. I don't really care what that constraint is right now. I'll have to remember that I put it in there. So, but let's go ahead and let's say this is going to be 0.9. So it's only temporary. We're going to delete that out here shortly. So that locks it in. So this is going to make our line length go the other way. So let's kind of come back now and put 12 inches in there. That forces that line to go the other direction. Now, while I still have that in here, let me hit the escape button to get out of the dimension key. I'm going to click here and delete that dimension because I don't want to lock that in. Matter of fact, I kind of want this to be next to and part of this bowl. So if I kind of grab that and move it, so notice I can make sure that it gets connected there to the actual part. So that's even better. That kind of constrains that in there, just some of the stuff that we are doing here with this. Now, if you imagine what the diameter of this plunger would be, it's probably about a 1-inch diameter dowel rod. So we do need to place a dimensional constraint from the edge of that part to the center line here. So, and this is going to be 0.5. All right. Once we do that, let's go back to the offset tool. Let's offset this line, and this we want to offset by 1 inch. So 1 inch. So we've got that, and we can come back in here now. Let's close off this part right there. So, and that more or less gives us our geometry for our plunger. So I'm going to do a couple other things here, though. So we're going to come back to our fillet tool, and we are going to create that. If this was a 1 inch here, we're going to make this 0.5. So, all right. I want that to be a 1/2 inch radius. Now, I'm also at the same time going to draw a line, and we're going to draw a line from the center. So we're coming all the way back now to the center of the bowl right there. So, all right, right click and escape. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. So let's go back to our trim tool. So I don't need this line, or this line. We're going to actually trim all of this off that's on this other side here. I don't need any of this. So, and I can kind of come over here and just kind of zoom, trim, get rid of all of these points. So don't really need that. So we did create the geometry here, so it's kind of locking us in on that, and that's all right. We do need that part. Let's go ahead and trim this out there as well, and trim that out. So we've got that one solid point. Now, if you think about it, probably also makes some sense to put the little flange right here. So I'm going to come back over to my let's go back to our center point arc. I'm going to say this is my center. I'm going to go from here over to there, lock that in. That should be good. I'm finishing this part off. Now, rather than doing an extrude here, now we're going to do a revolve. And I'm going to revolve this and that. So, and the axis that I'm going to revolve around it is the center line. There we go. So there is our plunger. So now we got a beginning of the plunger here for this. So, and that is the first part of this drawing. So, all right, I can come back now that I've got that. Let's go ahead and get our isometric view here of our plunger. I can kind of sit here and say, hey, you know what? There are some parts of this we want to go ahead and add some color. So let's take to our appearance manual. We're going to add the face color. We're going to make this red, and then we're going to kind of select the parts of the plunger here that we want to make red. So let's get this in, and you kind of have to make sure that everything you select is going to be that way. Now, each of these features, radiuses, flats, inside part, are all going to have to be selected. So there we go. So I got all those selected. That's good. Hit my green check mark. Close the appearance there on that one. So I've got that. Maybe I want to make that handle. Well, yeah, we definitely want to kind of, let's get back into our appearance handle here. And in this case, we're going to make, let's pull this brown. Let's kind of make our handle here. Let's give that some color to it as well. So make that brown. So there you go. Come back into the isometric view. Let's turn off the viewing planes here and my origin point. And there's the plunger. So that's the first part of this particular drawing. So we're going to come back and we'll do the other part here next.